Okay, we're doing the transmission on the 2013 QX56 Infiniti. Okay, what you're going to need, you're going to need 1/2-inch ratchet, 19mm socket, 3/8-inch ratchet, 5mm hex. You're going to need an extension. You're going to need a deep well, 10mm, and you're going to need some kind of little impact driver if you want to drop the pan. If you're just changing the transmission fluid, you just need these tools. But I dropped the pan, so you need that. Okay, you're going to need some brake clean. You're going to need maybe a magnet, and over here you're going to need a creeper. And let me show you what we need to do. All right, we're creeping under here. Okay. All right. So here's the pan. Sorry, it's a tight fit under here. I'm gonna have to, if you're taking the pan off, you're gonna have to take off all of these 10mm going around here. Okay, I'm gonna take all of these off. This is the 19mm. This is your drain plug. This is the 5mm hex. This is the fill plug. And there's about a 2 to 2.5 inch pipe that this goes into. So you can actually fill, the gallon that you drained out. So I've already drained it. I'm doing the video kind of haphazardly. I've already dropped the pan and cleaned the gasket up, cleaned the inside, cleaned the magnets. You'll see that in the next bit. I've done a few videos, and they're going to be put together in a proper sequence. But this is what came out of it. Blackness. And this is what we're putting in. So this is the Matic, Nissan Matic J is what you need to use. And this is what it's supposed to look like. You can see that's red. That's the way it's supposed to look. So the fact that it's black is indication that this definitely had to be done. So we've got it drained. We've got the drain plug back in. We're going to take out the fill plug, and then we're going to fill till the fill plug starts weeping, and then we stop filling. Then we're going to turn it on and let it run through the gears, and then fill a little bit more, and then we'll stop because it should be done. So that's where we are right now. Okay, from the looks of it, this transmission has never been changed. This stuff is black, 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 black. I dropped the pan because this vehicle has 125,000 miles on it, and I wanted to make sure it was maintained properly. I've got a lot of, if you can see here, a lot of metal shavings around the magnet. This one too, I haven't drained all this fluid out of here yet. So we'll see what it looks like. Nissan/Infiniti doesn't want you to do this. They don't want you to drop the pan. They want you to just open up the fill hole. This is where the fill hole goes to, okay? So you're gonna pump it in. I was wondering, because the fill hole sits lower. This is the drain hole, or rather the drain hole sits lower than the fill hole, okay? But I was saying, I don't know how you're gonna get 5 quarts in here if it's only down by an inch or two, but it's actually a pipe. So you're gonna pump it up in there, and then it's gonna float to that level before it starts pouring out, and then you're full. So anyhow, this is the bottom of the drain plug. I'll show you everything when it's back on. This is the fill hole. So I don't know if you can see that. You see that angle there. So the pipe sits up maybe about 2.5, 3 inches into the pan. I'll show you underneath real quick before. This is gonna make a mess, but make sure you got some cat litter. Okay, here's it. Once you drop the pan, Once you drop the pan, it's gonna make a mess on you. Okay, so it has a gasket. Even though you can't buy a gasket at the auto parts store, it has a gasket on there. And that's the inside. And over there, I don't know if you can see that, there's a bunch of 10mm, little 10mm bolts. So this is what it looks like with the pan off. And that's some kind of filter right there, a screen filter. You can't buy a filter either. I'm sure Infiniti has one, but they won't sell it to you aftermarket. Now, same goes for the gasket. I'm sure they have one, but they won't sell it to you aftermarket. So I'm going to reuse that gasket. Nothing wrong with it. Looks good. It still has its integrity. And I'm going to put the pan back on. I'm going to clean it out real good. I'll show you what it looks like after it's fully drained and what it looks like when it's clean. This is the pan fully cleaned. Magnets are cleaned. There was a lot of gunk around there, but it's all clean now. You can see I cleaned the surfaces. I'm going to put a little gray silicone on here. The pan's in good shape though. There's no chipping of the finish or anything like that. It's in good shape. I'll put a little gray silicone and stick the gasket on here. That way we don't have it flopping around. Gray silicone applied. You just put a really thin layer around the whole gasket surface on the pan. Now I'm going to put the gasket on. So we have the pan back on. The bolts are all torqued up. I'll put a little silicone on the transmission, a little silicone on the pan, so we're going to have a good seal. I torqued to 12 foot-pounds. I didn't look that up, but the size of the bolt, and that's what they're usually between 10 and 12, so I just went with 12. Okay, when I was going to do the fluid, I had Nissan Matic J, and then I went under the hood and I noticed this. It says only use Nissan Matic Fluid S. Well, you can't get Nissan Matic Fluid S at any auto parts store. You have to go directly to a Nissan dealership. So I returned the J that I had. I went and I got the S, and this is what it looks like. Nissan Matic S. So we've got our tank filled up here. This is just a garden tank that you would spray herbicide or water or whatever with. And what you do is you leave the tip off, the spray tip, and you're gonna have to I don't know if you can see that, you're gonna have to shave it down a little bit so it can fit in the opening. All right. So we've got the fill plug undone. I've got 3/4 of a gallon in here. I have three quarts, and I'm going to start filling it. I won't be able to film that. I'll do another clip after I'm done because I only have 2 hands. So all finished. You put 1 gallon of the Nissan Matic S in your pump, in your fluid pump, and you're going to pump that into the transmission until it starts weeping out. So then put the drain plug in, or the fill plug, close it off, start the car, and run it through the gears. Put the parking brake on, put it in reverse, neutral drive, and then back, and then reverse, neutral drive again, and then back. And then go back underneath and open up your fill plug, and it's going to take roughly about another ½ quart. So mine took 4½ quarts, and that was with dropping the pan. I think it'll only probably take 4 quarts if you don't drop the pan. But if you do a complete service and you want to clean that pan out and get all the shavings out and clean those magnets, you're going to do 4½ quarts, or a gallon and ½ quart. All right, so that's it. Any questions, leave it in the comments. Mike's Machines out.